of from Sasma Munina acquired by the bag Ghanatube sort of breaking his case and sensible to dry or Ghanatube meaning for Mobeka a year defunct Capital Bank. CEO na friend a year atu Asian Mobeka na ono this year and see uncle that jail 15 years or for now 15 years now man for Benin who said no 15 years need too much a man until see and the new petition Eddie Aquaco bo John Dramani Mahama say almost na John Dramani Mahama ombre mu non ka bi manu Capital Bank CEO kaneno atu Asian na ne ho ache ne dende see the new petition na ko John Dramani Mahama say yes na te say on granting the presidential pardon 19 years the so man of four we in a breaking news case here just John Dramani Mahama nko yes religious leaders Ghana afo asofo mpanyifo na adi nyina omudo mu ho aba bejimu say John Dramani Mahama petition case pa na omode command say almost na just onye bibi mfa no just say the case no Capital Bank CEO see a Capital Bank dey because of see and you see John Dramani Mahama the new petition akoko man say almost na just onye bibi mfa either say granting presidential pardon and also 13 years so modofo we a new petition a breaking news case here abeto jams within nyina bro e Ghana to for man ko na yenko gi nsemu nyina nchemu e Ghana to nyama this year.
Bring you that sound later, but moving on now. Joe News is learning that consultations with a range of civic and legal stakeholders, including religious leaders and human rights advocates, are underway in a bid to petition President John Mahama to grant clemency to embattled CEO of defunct Capital Bank. And Accra High Court in 2023 imposed a 15-year jail term on the founder of defunct Capital Bank, William Atu Asian, for stealing over 90 million cedis belonging to the bank. However, based on what he described as a miscarriage of justice and worsening health conditions affecting Mr. Asian, Dr. John Apea, the head of mission for the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, has announced plans to spearhead national support for the release of the embattled banker. And he joins me now on Zoom for more on this very demand they are making to the president. Mr. John Apea, I mean, the ground on which you intend to petition the president revolves around what you term as justice and a miscarriage of justice and worsening health conditions affecting Mr. Asian. I mean, can you justify this?
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me on the show. I think my role with the Commonwealth is twofold. I'm the head of missions for the Enterprise and Investment Council, which is the business arm. And I'm also a member of the board of directors for the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, the Africa office. So I think I'm speaking both from a business point of view, as someone, Atu Asian was the founder of the defunct Capital Bank, and I'm speaking from the point of view of a human rights point of view. I think I've been privileged to see the case in its entirety. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm very much behind this is not about, we're not playing politics. I think the support is from all sides of government. It's about the release or the pardon. For specifically, it's just to petition the president to reopen the case. And let judgment be made according to what he deems right. I think just listening to your news, the president, this is his legacy term, where he's doing a lot for the economy, and we're hoping that Atu Asian's case will be one.
Hello, Mr. Apea. We seem to have lost him more, of which we understand that he has. Mr. John, thank you very much for returning. I was asking you about what you have found. You claim you've seen the trial, and you believe that the trial didn't go well. Can you share with us some specifics which you have come across based on which you're convinced that the trial is a miscarriage of justice?
Thank you very much. I think my words were not that the trial didn't go well. My words were that the foundation on which the trial or the investigation was flawed. And I've seen the evidence of it. And what we're asking for is for the reopening of the case, and to see the actual merit of the case. It's like saying you've built a house and the storm has come and the house has broken down. The roof is intact, the doors are intact, the window is intact. You're not going to say the problem is with the roof or the problem was with the quality of the windows or the doors. It's a structural problem. So I think before we even talk about the trial, which is the roofing stage, we should talk about the foundation that was set. And the foundation is on which everything rests. And that is why I'm asking for a reopening of this case.
Well, you also
see the actual merit.
Yeah, I mean, you also talk about his health and, is
Out of what in some course, no, yes, see, baby be at 2 any case in the sea and a man 15 years imprisonment. You see, and you see a baby be the case, pneumonia, the petition, Cassia Pan, a coach John Domani, Mahama, the officer, almost Rena, John Domani, almost Rena, on the case, you know, you be being fun on 15 years, near I know the four, to see an Atuasian, a defunct capital bank. CEO, see, and case near Baby BM near the new petition now for Mark John Dramani Mahama, so you be found of away and a breaking his case here, Miss Beginning in our bro. I will Ghanatube to the former Cordentia and some embrace here.
there any communication from either himself or the family that his health is indeed deteriorating?
I have seen him personally. I have visited him personally on multiple occasions, and his health has deteriorated tremendously. It has. I'm not privy to share personal information unless it is authorities given by him, but it is very, very, very bad. And I think a reopening of this case, if the president instructs the attorney general or whoever to open this case, all those facts will be very clear. If he was at 90% when he went in, I'm sad to say he's at about 5% now. So it's very, very bad.
I mean, how do you respond to the fact that Mr. Atuasian has the option to avoid jail, but his delay in settlement has cost him dearly, because it's why his health has deteriorated. Now he's been asked to pay, but he has not been able to, provide the money.
And I think this takes me back to the metaphor I gave earlier on, that, the trial happened. He was supposed to make some payment. There was a delay in payment. But the real question is not on the delay in payment, which is the roof. The real question is, how did this case start? On what evidence was his trial built? That's the foundation. And I think the reopening of the case goes down to the foundation. What was the foundation on which the entire case was begun? That is what we are asking for a pardon for. What happens after the fact, I think, is very much based on what happened in the beginning.
Well, you also mentioned that you are doing a number of consultations regarding this petition. Can you give us a hint of some of the individuals or members of the society that have bought into this initiative by you?
I think you should not only be a journalist, I think you should be a lawyer as well. I like how you're pushing me to give you names and information. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to disclose the names of or information of those who are pushing for it. But I'm happy to say that this morning, for instance, I've seen that the broadcaster KSM, for instance, is also petitioning, also interested in asking the president for a pardon for Atuasian. And he would definitely be one of the numbers. We're trying to sign on key members of society from all walks of life, but key members of society, which represent every day that Mr. Atuasian has been in prison. Up to today, I believe is around 650 days, or around between 630 and 650 days or so that he's been in prison since 2022, October 2022. And each signatory will represent a day that he's been in prison on the day that we actually send the petition to the president, which is going to be sometime next week. We're just being advised by our lawyers when to do that.
All right, Mr. John, thank you very much for your time. And that's Mr. John. He's part of the group that are looking to petition the president to restart the case involving the the founder of Capital Bank, Mr. William Atuasian. Moving on, the Ghana Police Service has a...
when a good news case, it's a breaking news case, beto I'm beginning in a bro. Ghana to be a sea. Babe filing new petition that Kokoma John Dramani Mahama na almost as be Atuasian William Atuasian Mohammed in Kane Capital Bank CEO no see and Babe sign be any case in the say see and almost say send any case ni kon de wan hwe ya obekọ akode mu ache yi pan di si and say ye the new petition kese pan de kokoma John Dramani Mahama say almost na John Dramani Mahama almost na ontumi grant the presidential pardon that is at least ontumi nya ni ti eni di mo nya sa dia na so be shi papa for we ene ensem ayi de jam so be ni na brew e wo Ghanatube of memory if say be like no subscribe no share no notification bell so man say na be ya abrini abibia do be content wo nya ni tempa no ahwe ten or for aha e na be de ensem nya be si e wo Ghanatube so maka mu nya me da mu nya se